Good afternoon, welcome to the Professor Maima Show. Hope you are doing well wherever watching me around the world. Please subscribe, share and like this video. So today I want to show you something. I want to show you my fruit. It's called the fruits garden. So we have here, this one is have a fruit. This is a lemon tree. It's a mature one. You can see the way it is. The fruits are not yet there, but after some time it will begin to mature. You can see very well. It has its stones there and all that. So this is our tree here. This is our tree here. You can see this is our tree. And then we move on to something else. This is a young pawpaw tree. This is a young pawpaw tree, you see. It's very small. It's growing. Pawpaw tree. Then we move on. We have here a tree here. You can call it the lukewarm tree. They call it the lukewarm. As we say lukewarm, but I googled this lukewarm. Very nice fruits. They are very small, yellow and very nice. They are sweet. You can see lukewarm tree. It has not grown the fruits yet, but we are hoping they are going to grow very soon in the next 2 months. A very nice lukewarm. They are small and yellow and very sweet. You can see. Then we move on down. Yes. Then the ones who have not seen a mango. This is the mango tree. It grows very big, but maybe it was grafted, so it doesn't grow so tall like you have seen in our country. The other mango trees are usually they become very big, humongous trees. So this is a young mango tree. It's growing, it's grafted, I suspect. So it won't grow very tall. So this very nice tree, no GMO, so it's organic. You can see. Then we move on. You see our grass here. Very nice grass. Yes. And then you have this, so this is guavas. Here in Kenya, we call them mapera. These are guavas. Here we call them mapera. This is guavas. Yes, and then we continue. Then we have the lemongrass. You see this, the lemongrass. It's very good. They make tea. It's good for, it reduces hypertension, things like it prevents heart attack and all that. So it reduces the cholesterol in your body, this lemongrass. And then this is the lemon tree, lemonade. You see lemonade, people love lemonade. You drink lemonade in whatever, when you are, people like lemonade drinks and all that, when they're taking the alcohols, the ones who take, yeah, things like those. Yes. So this is a good lemonade. Yes. So that's why I'm talking about the, how can I say, I'm talking about the Gen Zs. So today I want to talk about the Gen Zs. I want to talk about the real president of Kenyan Gen Zs. So if you're not from the moon, you know the Kenyan Gen Zs had a major demonstration here in Kenya. It started peacefully, it became violent. It ended up by the Kenyan parliament to be stormed, something that have never happened from the time we got independence over many years ago, things like those ones. So now, because of that, the government, people were injured, others were killed. Now the government came under a lot of pressure, both internally and internationally. So what happened is that the president disbanded his cabinet. It was about the finance bill. The demonstrations, Kenya Gen Z demonstration, was about the finance bill that was introducing very punitive taxes under the sun. They were taxing everything from bread, from, I don't know, tampons, anything. They were even taxing people to bid for other people's houses. So it was just crazy stuff. So now, these Gen Zs forced the government to many things. So, but now they were calling themselves leaderless, colorless, formless, which was good initially, because no one was able to be targeted. You know, here in Africa, this is what happens. If you become an opposition leader, this is how the government targets you. The government targets you. It really targets you. And then when it targets you, like we have former opposition, okay, the opposition leaders, but now they're in their own government when you change the Kenyan constitution. Initially, it was about change the constitution in the 90s. Then in the 2000, it was about equity. So they brought devolution. So these former opposition leaders, you can see some of them like Raila Odinga. They really fought hard for the Kenyan to have, it's called what, to have freedom, so that they could, people could have expressed themselves. So devolution came, we had 47 counties. So more money was going to the counties, to the mashinani. Here we say mashinani, to the ground. So now, afterwards, things became bad. Corruption now is everywhere. So these Kenyan Gen Zs, because they are formless, leaderless, and tribeless, they were putting pressure on the government to make changes, to fight corruption, to reform the IBC, that's the electoral body in Kenya, and many other things, no jobs and all that. So that was good because they were formless, and their leaders could not be targeted. They was talking about former leaders like Raila Odinga, Orengo, Anyona, and many more. Kenya has had Matiba. Kenya has had many political activists, and they suffered a lot. Jailment, being beaten up, and all those things, isn't it? So I'm trying to set this camera of mine very well. Yeah, that way. So now this Kenya Gen Zs don't have a leader, although some pretenders have been showing up online, Kasmuel, Morala. Now, what the Kenya Gen Zs don't know is that all these people are, to quote Prezo, a former musician in Kenya, they are just content creators. They are looking for, it's called what? They're just doing content. So they just do content so that they can get into power easily. But the former opposition leaders, they fought hard. They got injured, they got jailed. So these people, in Kenya, some of these activists, they do content. They seek public, it's called public reaction. They do public stunts. They do stunts so that now they get reaction, and then now people think, okay, this is the leader of the Kenyan Gen Zs. I saw even one of them speaking to the people, public participation. Now another issue, they want to, it's called what, they want to remove impeach the DP of Kenya, DP Gachagua. So there's this public participation. I saw one of them, the so-called, in quotes, Kenyan Gen Z leaders. And now people went for him because they said that was betrayal. Because you're supposed to say the president and the vice president have to go. He just mentioned one person. And people, majority, through this public participation that will lead to the impeachment of the deputy president of Kenya, Gachagua, people wanted all of them to go, the president and the vice president. So people went for this young man. They really hit him hard to call him a betrayer and all kinds of names. So that's what I'm saying. The real president of the Kenyan Gen Zs, who is he or she? May I say, the Kenyan Gen Zs are better off without a leader. What they need is an agenda. What is the agenda of the Kenyan Gen Zs? First of all, is fighting corruption. They should continue pushing that in their own, it's called what? In their own fronts. They should also do something called civic education for the people around the country. That's a good way to do it. And then they should also give ideas on how we can create jobs. I told you the best way to create jobs is what I've been showing you: agriculture, value addition, industrialization, transport, whereby let's not be Nairobi. Let's have rail transport, commuter transport in the next 3 years, because this is the president is only left with 3 years. Let's have commuter transport across Nairobi with the neighboring counties of Ukambani and Masailand. That's the first thing. So where are these commuter trains going to? Industrial parks. Our president should be launching not failed projects, but launching, it's called what? Industrial parks outside Nairobi. He launches, and as he's launching, a rail train is coming to join them. That's what we're talking about. It's coming to join those industrial parks so that there's integrated transport from Nairobi to neighboring counties of Kambani, Masailand. So people just naturally move to those people to look for work. And as that is happening, because it's transport, rail transport, commuter rail, that's what I'm meaning, and also good roads around the country, you can start building those houses. Use private participation, where you get people from the private sector. They come and start building those houses. And people now, the government can do a deal with these private investors. It gives them land, they build the houses. But now, when you want to buy a house, there's something called down payment, which is beyond most people in Kenya. They do a deal. The government subsidizes. They're giving them free land. So in return, the developer allows someone to enter a house. Their rent becomes like the mortgage payment. Let's say a house is 2-bedroom, and the rent is $300 per month, or $200. Is it yeah, $300 per month, or $200 per month, or $300, somewhere there. Now that becomes like the mortgage payment for even 20, 30 years. So as he or she pays, the house becomes his owner. He or she can even leave the house for his children, continue paying until that money that is supposed to be paid is complete. Because the government has subsidies in the sense that it has given them land, has given this person land. I think it's around 100 years. So that means the developer doesn't have to buy land. He's given land, and then he builds his houses. As you pay your rent, he's getting his money back. And then after 100 years, the land reverts back to the government. This country needs big thinkers. We should not be thinking small, not taxing people for others to have houses. So that's what I'm telling you, who is the real president of the Kenyan Gen Zs. The Kenyan Gen Zs need an agenda. I've given you how to create jobs, police brutality, police need to be retrained. Then after they have been retrained, they need to be facilitated with equipment and everything else. There's no police officer who should be walking. They should be either be on a bicycle, on a car, or motorcycle, moving around, keeping the peace. And also they are paid well. They also have these houses, so that if someone retires, they have a house they can live in. So the moment you enter the police force, you're given a house. As you pay rent, you are owning the house. And if through an avoidable, let's say, the unlikely event, an unfortunate event that can happen, a police officer dies in the line of duty, the house is given to the family direct. They don't need to pay anything. So that's the compensation, plus other insurances, you know them. Now this is big thinking that the Kenyan Gen Zs can be given to the government. And then lastly, there's the thing of the youth council, I call it the junior parliament. You'll have talked to the president to put there $1 billion. I hear money being bandied around for CG, SHIF, NHIF. You can tell the government, the president, we need $1 billion, 100 billion Kenya shillings to revamp the youth council, youth parliament, for elections, for running costs, so that this council it's not about just debating. It's also about development of youth projects across the counties, from the ward level, county level to national level. Now this is big thinking that these young Gen Zs can be falling on. When you have people like us, Professor Maima, giving ideas. I've given you solutions to 5 things. Corruption, which I talked about, how it can be fought. Creation of job employment for the young people. Improvement of infrastructure. Youth leaders, mentorship, the next generation of leaders. And then also medical insurance, I said, how it can be done. Hospitals should give free medical care, whereby the government is responsible for staffing and medical supply, while the counties just build the structure, the building for the hospital, dispensary, nursery. If it's a very big hospital, government can step in and bring in a private developer to build, then they pay him off. Now the hospital will just be earning money through taxpayers. Instead of the money being stolen, it's given to give people free medical care so that they work hard, We become a healthy nation to create taxes for the government to develop. Big thinking, yes. So this is the Professor Maima show. If you like what I've said, I want to pray for you that you have a long life, that you become rich and prosperous, not only you, your children and grandchildren, and all your dreams become reality. You need a new job, reality. You need to buy land, reality. You need to build a big house, a flat complex, reality. You need to travel out of this country, reality. You need to expand your business, becomes bigger, a reality. You get money for your grant, for your research project, for your business development, a reality. You start a family today, a reality. You get a partner, get children, a reality. And also pray for myself to get money, big money, to build the biggest technological university in Africa, build a product that can be used here in Africa and worldwide, to also create jobs for these young Gen Zs, train future entrepreneurs, and earn big money for myself and the Kenyan government. That's my prayer, amen. And lastly, if you have liked what I've said, send something on the mobile M-Pesa down there, plus 254 769 729 327. I'll repeat again, mobile M-Pesa, plus 254 769 729 327. And as I always say, gwaheri ya kuonana, gwaheri.